Comic-Con is over, and it's back to the real world, back to normal. I spent most of this afternoon sleeping after work, just throughout the weekend, up late, early, up late and up early every day. It just makes for very little sleep, and I needed the recovery. I'm still gonna grab a quick workout before I head to bed though. But I want to talk to you briefly about this idea that I kind of discovered at Comic-Con. You see, I don't read much fiction, and the reason why, and I know I've mentioned this before, the reason why is that I'm not a particularly fast reader, and when I'm going to be investing time and attention into something, I want to make sure that it's giving me everything that I need from it, and it's just hard to put that down on reading fiction. I do read some. Dune is a fantastic novel. I've actually not read I have the follow-up books, I just haven't read them. Dune is, the best science fiction novel I've ever read, considering I've only read a few. But it's fantastic, and it's a great story. His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman is fantastic. And there have been others, but fiction reading has not always been my thing. However, I do enjoy fiction, just more in the form of video type entertainment. I'm a big anime fan, movies and television, that kind of stuff. I do enjoy fiction. I enjoy comic books quite a bit, but those things require less direct attention from me. Yeah, the comic books require more attention, but I'm a fan of good art, so I feel I can justify it a little more. But with television and movies, anime, things like that, I can just put it on and kind of pay half attention to it and get on with everything else. And for me, maybe it's not the most efficient use of time or anything like that, and I certainly don't pick up on all the details that nerds like to bicker over, but it's how I do things. And because of that, as I recognize the value of the storyteller in our society, and I spoke about this a few weeks back, and going to Comic-Con, listening to J. Michael Straczynski talk and people discuss the ideas and concepts and themes of Babylon 5, which was kind of the spotlight feature of the convention, and my favorite science fiction series of all time. It made me think about the fact that we all have stories to tell, and maybe we're not all writers or filmmakers or artists, but we've all got a story to tell. We are all authors in some way, shape, or form. George Carlin once said, "I have as much authority as the Pope. I just don't have as many people who believe it." And that's what the word author means. Authority, author. It's the idea of being the origin or creator of something, and we are all authors in our own right. And I realize that I have many stories to tell, and I guarantee you that you do as well. And whether you are telling it through your sport, whether you are telling it through visual art, whether you're telling it through written or spoken word or some other medium, it's important to never let that go. There are people, when I went to Comic-Con, there are so many people who are so amazingly talented and detail-oriented when it comes to being fans of things. But I would urge you, don't just be a fan. Let your fandom carry you, let that detail carry you into your own story. Because if you are living through somebody else's story, you are missing out on your own. And I know I've done that in the past, and it's something that I try not to let happen. And as I was walking through Comic-Con, I realized walking by booth after booth after booth. I don't need this stuff. I enjoy it and I will continue to go to Comic-Con, and if I find something that's particularly outstanding, I'll certainly grab it. But by and large, as I'm walking by things, I'm looking at very cool things, very highly skilled, crafted things, and going, but I don't need this. I am way too into me. I'm way into myself and my story to buy into somebody else's right now. And I think that's important for all of us, to be into your own story. My wife is a writer, and she puts her writing first and foremost beyond everything else, and if everything else in the real world is not in place, it pisses her off to no end, because her writing is so important to her that if anything gets in the way of that, it is just upsetting. And I understand it. I'm the same way with my training, you know. So all I'm getting at is tell your story. Write your story. Do your thing. Be your own author. Be a fan. Go ahead and be a fan. Be detailed and pick things apart. That is great. But learn to tell your story. Use your fandom to do something and tell your story. If you're a great cosplay artist, you know what? Take that and become a costume or prop maker, or just a regular tailor, or a fashionista, stylist, whatever. You can do something with that. Who cares if less than 1% of the population buys your stuff? You can make a living doing something else and still follow your passion, or you can be a boutique style person and not worry about market share and just go for quality and community. That works too. So with that, I'm gonna go get a workout and do my own thing, and I will talk to you guys later. Good journey.